Hello, this is Tamara Lewis. I am an instructor in the Hague University for Applied Sciences in the Netherlands, and this is just my profile that is at the university's website. I am not an instructional designer. I actually teach law there, and as a member of the department, I am asked from time to time to do trainings and to help people design their law courses. So, in addressing some of the things that we were asked to talk about for the introduction, like where we locate our resources and the types of resources that we share and how we share them, I wanted to show you actually just by sharing my screen and going to the various places that I often visit. So I should first say that I learned most of this from the Online Learning Consortium. So prior to that time, I was not doing necessarily online learning. I was doing face-to-face learning, and therefore the resources that I normally used were different. But when we had the beginning of the COVID measures in the Netherlands and we were fully online back in the spring, we needed to find other places to get our teaching and learning resources. And so EduCause has quite a lot of information in the form of short articles that give tips to people when they are considering their courses. And because they have something on hybrid courses, it's been very, very useful for us in the fall now, when we're not fully online anymore, but we're actually doing some face-to-face um, and some blended learning environments. The other place that I have visited and recommended is the TED-Ed website, primarily because it allows you to use an already existing video and then turn it into something that students can interact with and have like a mini lesson in an asynchronous way. And so this has been full of possibilities. It doesn't have a lot of law, but it does have some law that can be used, or related material that you can use sort of as an introductory way to gain interest in what you're going to teach. Finally, the Chronicle for Higher Education tends to have short articles that you can share with members of the faculty just so that they can see a topic that is maybe very, very recent and that they are talking about maybe in discussions, and they can see how it's being viewed in other places. Again, because I'm located in the Netherlands, sometimes it's not as relevant because most of these articles are very specific to the United States. But in some cases, like the fact that you might need some help with building community within your online course, that's very general across probably all places right now. And so these articles come in handy. And for the resources that I make up, I generally tend to give something that's visual. So I tend to use an infographic, or I use Microsoft Sway, which I'm going to show now. And these are just some sways that I have done over the past months. And these sways are very easy to make up. And once you make them up, then they look very professional, and people can see them and read them, but more importantly, you can drop resources into them. And so when you share a link, the person gets this kind of a resource that looks a lot like some sort of a blog or web page, and you can add a video, which I've done here. And then you can also put in the actual tools that you want to show people, and you can see they're actually you're able to link to them. So then the person can link to them right from what you've done, and then you can give further reading, for example. So these are just this is just a really nice way to do things. Also, because I share my things in Microsoft Teams, I would take this and I would link it into Teams. And when I link it there, because you can share using a link, once you link it there, the actual video pops up and they can just turn it on right there. And then Teams keeps it so people can go back to it later. And we have a specific channel called Digi Education where in our team, and so everybody knows if they want to go and find out how to help themselves, they go to Digi Education in the Teams and they'll find my videos or my sways in there or anything else that I upload, like my infographics. So there's one other thing that I will also share, and that's that I like to use OneNote, not just as my own sort of curating device, but also because I can share the page that I have directly with my colleagues if I want to. So every page is shareable using the link here in the top. And anything that you can paste all kinds of things in here. You can also put full documents in. And one of the nice things about this is that you can also annotate. So if you want to give a specific annotation for the person that you're sending the page to, that might not be what you need for another person, you can just annotate it at that moment, share it, and then remove the annotations. And then I personally like to use touch screen with OneNote for Windows because it has the draw feature and I can write directly in or on the page. And so for me, that's one of my other ways to highlight information, to make notes on things that I have. And so what I do is I create a notebook. So this was an engaging discussions online, and I have different pages in the notebook. So these are just small pages that are in there, and they all have different themes, and then I can share them as I need to. And this was based on a course that I took in the Online Learning Consortium. So these materials that I got here are actually from that course. And now I can share those materials with whoever I want to using a really easy feature, like I said here, sharing. So that is the end of my presentation, and I look forward to hearing and reading and listening and watching your presentations and finding even more resources for myself.